I will get things done for America. To make our people safer, smarter, and healthier.
We will call it AmeriCorps.
I will bring Americans together to strengthen our communities.
There is no other nation on earth where volunteerism is as much a part of national life as it is in America.
The AmeriCorps volunteers have their work cut out for them.
I always believed that you would elevate the cause of citizen service in America, that you would make America a better place.
Faced with apathy, I will take action.
My name is Lauren Svat.
Hi, I'm Tony Smith.
My name is Dan Skoll.
And I'm serving in AmeriCorps and CCC.
Helping out with Red Cross and FEMA.
Building volunteer capacity.
Helping families rebuild their homes in the greater New Orleans area.
Faced with conflict, I will see common ground.
Organizers say none of it would be possible if it weren't for the AmeriCorps members.
To notice when I'm on a job, the AmeriCorps group, they always working.
The AmeriCorps volunteers lifted the spirits of the people of our state.
Habitat for Humanity has built over 300 houses. This would not have been possible without our AmeriCorps and NCCC friends.
First of all, it's not a very big investment. It's a small investment. This really is very good augmentation. It helps generate more and more volunteerism from people who aren't part of that program.
I serve.
I serve.
I serve.
We serve.
We serve. No AmeriCorps.
There is no question that you are now an indispensable force for change in America.
Faced with adversity, I will persevere.
I serve individuals with disabilities.
The AmeriCorps members help us to empower people with disabilities.
He's smart, he's charismatic, he was just kind of misdirected, and someone needed to pull him out and take the time to get to know him and make him realize his potential.
What Vet Corps is trying to do is we're trying to strategically place people who've been through that transition and can directly relate to these individuals coming back.
VISTA means Volunteers in Service to America.
National and community service is one of the best investments we can make for the generations to come.
Serving in AmeriCorps has changed my life.
My husband, Martin Luther King Jr., once said that life's most persistent and nagging question is, what are you doing for others?
And that's what citizenship is. It's at the heart of our founding. That as Americans, we are blessed with God-given talents and inalienable rights, but with those rights come responsibilities to ourselves and to one another and to future generations.
There are going to be difficult challenges ahead, but we're never going to forget the unmet needs of our communities, nor the equally deep yearning of our young people to serve. Together, we will make service the abiding ethic of our people.
I will carry this commitment with me this year and beyond. I am an AmeriCorps member, and I will get things done.
A group of volunteers from United Methodist Churches in Virginia participate in the 5-day mission to help people left homeless by Hurricane Sandy on New York's Long Island.
Hi, I'm Tim Wells. I'm from Floris United Methodist Church. We are in Herndon, Virginia. And we work with the United Methodist Volunteer and Mission Program, UMVM, to help with the disaster recovery. Floris United Methodist Church has always been a mission-oriented church. We have, in addition to the work we do in the United States, we have teams that go to Cuba, to Africa, to Haiti after the earthquake there. Our youth group goes to Costa Rica, and it's always been very mission-oriented. And I think that's an integral part of any Methodist church. People come back because once you've gone and you've met the people and seen the need, you fall in love with the people. You feel much greater blessing than you can possibly ever give from your contact with the people who need help and just the great people that they are and how much they love having you here with them. Volunteerism is truly the joy of service, and joy of service is what Jesus calls us to do.
It's an opportunity to serve God. It's an opportunity to make a difference. The feeling is unlike any other when you see the reception and the appreciation of the folks that we get to meet and the difference that we're making in their lives and getting them, restoring their life back to what's normal. And it's my opportunity to also restore not only the community, but humanity as well. I think it's also our responsibility to team up as neighbors, whether, albeit, far neighbors, but still, there's always work to be done, and we're blessed. If it's not affected us personally, it's affected other people, and we just need to join our powers together, our skills together, and make a difference.
This is my 5th mission trip to do restoration work. And the thing that keeps me coming back here is that I consider myself to be one of the more fortunate people trying to help some of the people that are less fortunate than I am. My first trip was to Pulaski, Virginia to help work on a tornado disaster there, restoring houses. And then I've had several trips to Forked River, New Jersey, to help out with that parish up there. And then my last trip here is in Long Beach, New York, restoring houses from superstorms. The thing that I get most out of these trips is that I'm serving people who are less fortunate, and I think it's the joy of giving that really is what I come back for, and I tie this back into the fable or the parable about the Good Samaritan, that you help people out who are in need.
We live here at 89 Michigan Street in Long Beach, and it's 17 months now since Superstorm Sandy, and we have been back in our home about 10 days. There's still a lot of work to be done, and we wouldn't be back now if it hadn't been for the United Methodists, who have helped us so much. Methodists have come over and they've helped us with the insulation, with the sheetrock, with painting, and it's just been a blessing. And it's just a blessing.
More than anything, they're just such a great group that they're so uplifting. You feel so, you don't want them to leave.
I cry when they leave. I don't want them to go. We're just grateful.
Yeah.
God blessed us, and sorry I'm getting upset, but
thankful.
We're very thankful. We're very humbled by everything that they've done for us.
We didn't think we really were deserving of having somebody volunteer and do this work for us. And thank you. Thank God.
From the bottom of our hearts.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can be fooled by looking around that, or thinking it's already been 2 years, so everything is back to normal. There's still so much work to do. And I know we become desensitized as there's more catastrophes going on every time we turn the television set on. And no matter what your skill level is or great skills that you have, you can be used. There's plenty of work to be done. There's never a shortage of people to tell you what to do, and they're great at showing you how to do it. So get involved. There's still so much to do.
I'm joined by the CEO of the Center for Disaster Philanthropy, Robert Ottenhoff, who will talk with us about the Playbook. Tell us a bit about the Playbook.
Right, so the Playbook is for anybody who's interested in disasters and supporting disasters. We recognize that in this country, we tend to be really ad hoc about disasters. There's a disaster occurs, maybe we hear or see about it on television, we get, very involved for a day or two, and then we just, quote, go back to normal. And if you talk to most funders, they'll say, well, no, we're not disaster philanthropists. We support children, or we support families, or we support the environment. But we only did that disaster thing for a couple of days because it was a crisis. And as a result, since nobody thinks they're a disaster philanthropist or wants to call themselves that, we don't really have very information on how to do it right. And so we're starting to gather information. So this is going to be a place where we gather best practices, where we gather stories, where we learn what went right, what went wrong. Because, almost everybody in this country is an amateur when it comes to disaster. Now, maybe a few places in Florida or Louisiana where they get hit with hurricanes on a regular basis. But when I spoke to my friends in New Jersey and New York, they said, we've never been in this position before. We don't know what to do. What do you do on the first day after disaster? What do you do a week later? How should we be thinking about a year from now when we want to engage our communities? So this playbook is going to gather those stories from coast to coast, those from Florida those from Oklahoma have been in tornadoes, those from the West Coast that have been in earthquakes. So you'll be able to refer to this document, and it'll tell you what your friends and colleagues and others did in certain circumstances to help you think through the steps of what to do.
Sounds like a really great resource, not only sharing stories, but also for anything happening in the future.
Well, and we also want to make it a living project. So it's not going to be one of those big, thick reports that you stick on a shelf and then it just automatically is outdated and collects dust, but it's going to be primarily video. And so it'll be interviews, it'll be, you know, really topical and digital.
Perfect for the digital age.
You bet, right.
Now, you had mentioned Hurricane Sandy, so how can organizations working in Hurricane Sandy recovery be a part of your study?
Yeah, so we're always eager to learn what organizations are doing. You know, it's now, it's been a little while. You know, we're still hearing stories about Katrina. So if there are people who are watching today who have been engaged in New Jersey and New York after the disaster, we'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to learn what you did, what you learned, you know, how you would do it differently if you had to do it again. So they can write to us at disasterphilanthropy.org and, you know, maybe become part of our playbook.
All right. So as we pass to the second anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, it's no longer in the media spotlight. What advice would you give to nonprofits dependent on support that include both money and volunteers during the later stages of the disaster life cycle?
Yeah, that's a great question because there's such a direct correlation between disaster giving and disaster attention and media coverage. And so once the cameras go away, people forget about it. So it's important for nonprofits to be sharing their stories after the disaster is over. So donors want to know, well, how was my money spent? How are you doing? You know, how are you achieving the goals we established when we gave you this money? So I would urge nonprofits to stay in regular touch with the donors and with the general public to tell us what's been done, tell us what still needs to get done, to tell us about gaps where there was no funding available, to tell us some human interest stories about you know, tell us about how people got back in their homes or did they get their jobs back. Because it's very easy to forget about those who have been affected by a storm. You know, another way is to work with local media. You're not likely to get on the national newscast, but working with your local cable television stations, your local media organizations like this one, local newspapers is another great way to keep this fresh in people's memories.
Absolutely, all great resources.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We are in the studio with Bob Ottenhoff with Center for Disaster Philanthropy. Check out their website at disasterphilanthropy.org. Another personal visit with Mark Murphy.
This is Porto, the second largest city in Portugal and a historic city. Absolutely spectacular, especially from this vantage point. In 1996, it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I would suggest taking 2 nights and maybe up to 3 days to explore the city. And the way to explore it would be to start on the left side of the river from this vantage point and take the gondola ride from down there up to that point. Once you're here, you can hike up and explore the monastery and then come down and take a walk across this bridge to the historic area. One of Portugal's most famous exports, port wine, is named for Porto, since the metropolitan area was responsible for the production and export of the fortified wine. Porto's most popular event of the year is St. John. It happens on the nights of June 23rd as well as June 24th. So we came from all the way up there, we crossed that bridge, we wandered around the backside of the city here, came down the hill, and we burned a lot of calories along the way. I hope you enjoyed some of the sights. Now I'm gonna find myself a lovely cafe where I can kick back, relax, and take in more of the views. Well, it didn't take me long because the second restaurant I came to is the one I chose. Come on inside and I'll show you why. Ironically enough, as I walked up, they said, "You're our first customer." And I said, "First customer?" And I meant for the day. And they said, "No, you're our first customer because today is their grand opening." What a cute, quaint, lovely little place. All right, the only downside, it's an old building, so you gotta watch your head when you walk in the door. And they were nice enough to bring me back to the kitchen. And they are hard at work back here, preparing some great tapas. And I gotta tell you, we tried 7 different ones. We cleaned the plates. I think these are our plates. I think they were completely clean. So this is where the magic happens. But instead of eating outside, if you want to, on a cool night, you can come inside. And like I said, duck your head. But how absolutely quaint and romantic is this spot? Something to check out on your next stop to Porto.
Hi, my name is Josh Carroll. I'm with the WCC in Seattle, Washington. Today we're in Breezy Point and we're working on a lady's house. Today we're tearing out floorboards, taking out drywall, trying to get rid of as much of the mold as possible and giving her a chance to get someone in here to rebuild and get her life started again.
My name is Junior Fumano. I'm from the Washington Conservation Corps. I lead a veteran crew. This means that most of the people on my crew are ex-military, are veterans of the United States Armed Forces. We're here to help with, the recovery effort or, the emergency response effort. We have been removing debris out of houses, tearing down drywall. A lot of the work that's been done so far is the initial response.
My name's Sammy French. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm out here gutting out houses, removing insulation, removing flooring, moldy walls, and it's really great to get out here and do it, to see how these people have been affected and see how we can help them. It's a really good feeling, and people have really been expressing how much gratitude they have towards us.
My name's Ernest Farmer. I'm a crew supervisor from the Washington Conservation Corps. I'm out here with members from Minnesota Conservation Corps, 12 of them, and 12 members from Tribal Conservation Corps, HOOPA. We're out here primarily focusing on gutting and mucking of affected homes and canvassing affected neighborhoods to help identify their long-term needs.
Hi, my name is Chester McLeod. I'm from Hoopa Valley Tribe and I work for AmeriCorps.
Hello, my name is Mercedes Porter and I'm with AmeriCorps Hoopa TCCC, and we're here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, helping muck and gut homes, and we're really excited to be here.
Make every outing memorable. Exploring cities new and old can be overwhelming. With so many options, it's often hard to decide which adventures to choose. Field Trip, a mobile app available on the App Store and Google Play, takes your selected interests into account and notifies you when something interesting is nearby. The app curates architecture, historic places and events, lifestyle, offers and deals, food, drinks, and fun, movie locations, outdoor art, and obscure places of interest based on your location. Field Trip even lets you share your experiences immediately through email or social networking platforms. Download the app to start discovering hidden gems and planning your next field trip.
One of the most magnificent things that has come out of the Monmouth County Long-Term Recovery happens to be right behind us. It is Camp Evans, which is a historical site that has now been renovated to be volunteer housing for folks who will be serving both Monmouth and Ocean counties here in New Jersey. Camp Evans, it has been converted into a housing facility for volunteers. It's set up very similar to dorms. There is a section for male and females. There are showers, there are eating facilities, there is a recreation room, and those volunteers who come to us from out of this area will be able to stay here and then come out and help all of the community partners who are rebuilding here in Monmouth and Ocean counties. What will be nice is we now can recruit groups from all over the United States to come, stay here at Camp Evans, enjoy the beautiful new facilities, and work on homes right here in Monmouth and Ocean counties. So I invite all of you, I welcome you to Camp Evans, and I hope you find it as magnificent as we do.
Volunteering, traveling for a purpose, using social media tools, and competing in teams are all components of a new social consciousness, helping bring people home after the ravages of Hurricane Sandy. Sign your team up at JerseyShoreVolunteers.com. The initial competition to participate in the Jersey Shore Volunteers is to create a short video on Facebook and share it with as many followers as possible. Getting as many shares and likes as possible is a key part of the contest. The video should address what your team can do to tell the world about the need for additional and ongoing volunteers in New Jersey. Be sure to tag your videos and posts Jersey Shore Volunteers. Full participation and rules are available at JerseyShoreVolunteers.com. 50 teams of 10 participants each will be selected to become Jersey Shore Volunteers. Every week, 4 teams will travel on Friday morning to Camp Evans in New Jersey to begin their experience. Everyone will receive social media training and team building sessions on the trip to New Jersey. The teams will represent their nonprofits, and homeowners will benefit from the team's efforts. After a dinner at a classic restaurant in New Jersey, the team will gather to reach out to their supporters about Friday's activities. Saturday includes a full day of volunteering and another session of social media sharing. Sunday morning, all 4 teams will meet to work on the video and to discuss what has been accomplished. A visit to one of the excellent museums at Camp Evans will round out the day. The awards will be presented, and then the groups will board the bus to return home Sunday afternoon.
Hi, happy Thanksgiving. We have a turkey dinner for you.
I won't have any Thanksgiving if it went for you filled us with the church. I just appreciate what they're doing for us.
Today is the day before Thanksgiving, and it's our turkey lock-in.
The turkey lock-in, it's a sleepover that we have for the youth group at our church. What we do is we assemble turkey dinners for people who don't have families.
We start the night before Thanksgiving. We prepare the turkeys, stuffing.
The side stuff, so like the gravy, cranberry,
pumpkin squares.
Pumpkin squares.
It's a full traditional Thanksgiving meal with the turkey and all the fixings.
And then in the morning we finish preparing the food and then package it.
We load up carts with the boxes of food and we walk them over to the shut-ins.
They walk together, pushing their carts along the sidewalks and helping each other through the streets of Little Tokyo. One of the facilities is Tokyo Towers.
We took a picture of you guys.
A senior subsidized residential facility.
So a lot of the people that we drop the food off don't speak English, but we still get the message that they're thanking us.
The second facility is a low-income housing facility.
Thank you, Teresa.
That's why these lock-ins, they're really successful, is because we can work together. If we couldn't work together, these things wouldn't be possible. Well, here, give me that one, and then Jess, you can follow me for that one.
All the youth know that part of their faith journey is serving others. They have to roll up their sleeves, know that's part of praising God.
All right, thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
One of the things that I was taught, at least in this church, was that everybody is family. And being able to reach out to some people who may not necessarily feel that they have family can certainly feel it through us.
Getting a chance to be with the entire youth group for one day out of the year where we can all help someone else, but we're also bonding.
My sister showed me what to do, when I went to my first lock-in and it was their last lock-in. That's, our job as the older generation for this new generation of youth members is to show them, look, this is how it's done.
Many families that have their own family traditions every year, whether it's traveling to grandma's house or being in charge of a certain dish.
Kimchi. 3, 2, 1.
Our church family has its own tradition, and that's the turkey lock-in.
Jersey Shore Volunteers is synonymous with a new social consciousness. Help bring people back into their homes. Homes they've been unable to occupy a full 2 years after Hurricane Sandy. Travel for a Purpose will let you be a part of the reality of making that happen. Each of our teams will have a volunteer experience and participate in a project that combines social media with a reality TV-like competition. The volunteers will travel to New Jersey, help a specific homeowner, and document the experience on camera. They will then edit their video and share it on social media platforms, asking their fans to vote. The most popular of the 4 competitors will have a significant donation made to their specified charity. To help us select our 50 teams, we want everyone to create a very short video telling us why you and your group want to go to New Jersey and be a part of this very important experience. Post your videos, ask questions, and let us hear from you starting October 30th, 2014. Start collecting your teams of 10 individuals and help your charity grow while helping New Jersey get back on its feet.